I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a
Recording. All right, Banter for the people. We are out here Monday, the day before July 4th, the beautiful Independence Day. Really excited for it. Coming at you. I mean, we don't even have a microphone. We're just recording this on Zoom. It's going to allow us. We have so many moving parts still happening. Lots of good stuff with BounceBack. Tati, I know.
Oh my God, that's the real Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. What's the updates on BounceBack? What do we got?
BounceBack beer, BounceBack pod.
Ooh, beer.
Beer. We just got back from Nashville. We had a lot of great response from so many bars. I can't get too far ahead of myself, but I feel like that's definitely going to be a market that we're going to be in sooner rather than later. We had some fans out there that like hung out with us all day on Monday and drank, and it was a fucking blast.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is, I know we've been like talking about Vegas for a minute. We've just hit a couple snags just in the moving pieces, to be completely honest. So we're kind of looking at more of like a fall move on that. And what I'm really excited about is I'm going to Philly this week to really push the kind of Eagles, Philly pride situation forward. Like
trying to get into the link.
Trying to get in the link. And I think it's going to happen.
It's dope.
It's going to happen.
I mean, we have, like the beer end, we are still looking for different partners.
Yeah.
We love it when people say, hey, come out to this different area, whether it's like come out to Boston, blah, blah, blah.
It's great, but I think it's really funny because people are like, we get like so angry, like angry messages like, oh, why are you here? You're like, dude, it's our company is like a month old on BounceBack beer. Like, we appreciate it. We like want you guys to have it, but just the reality of it is things don't happen overnight. Yeah.
And there's still room for different investors, different partners. So if you know, like regional distributors or regional brewers, we are, contracting that stuff out to be able to deliver that product to all these different spaces. Because we're learning pretty quickly what it is to distribute beer in different places. Like sometimes you have to brew the beer like in that state or whatever it is.
And that's what's kind of wild about us getting to the alcohol side is there are such particular rules in each location too. So working on figuring all that out for sure.
BounceBack pod. We'll have another one dropping this Thursday.
Timmy learns TikTok.
Timmy learns how to do some TikTok.
One of the biggest guys in TikTok.
Yep, we just had Zane in from Kane. I thought it was Zane. No. Kane in from TikTok. And then, we finally have Smart and Wild, popping back up again. We just recently did upload another the Come Up episode with one of was he Greek?
No. Nothing to do with Greece.
It wasn't a Greek one. Wow, the first maybe nothing to do with Greece one that we've ever had on there.
Yeah, any Greek entrepreneurs holler, I got you down. So.
And then like the Bob Menery saga continues to kind of persist. I think he's almost done with his different like treatments and stuff that he's been doing, and so we'll be back in the saddle with him. I do kind of want to talk about like where we're at with that stuff because you'll definitely see people blowing us up in his comments about like why we're here, what are we promoting, what's our interest in this space, do you think Bob's gonna fuck you over, all these different things. And one, I think that for us as a company, we are really excited to be able to work with different creators that have stories to tell. His story, I think, can go from tragedy to triumph really quickly. It's still always touch and go, and I think it'll take some time. But we wouldn't be working with him if we didn't think he's a great dude. That doesn't mean that great guys don't have little quirks and stuff and things to groom over. He's, in a sense, coming into the online sphere really quickly. From Ripper Magoo with Timmy, which was one of the largest sports podcasts in the world immediately.
He did have like crazy whirlwind
to then, linking that into the Full Send podcast, to different relationships in his life, whether they were business or whether they're more personal. I am really interested in seeing the trajectory of like where he's able to take this different fame and this different interest in his life, and hopefully, bridge it into some level of like hope. And us as a company, we're trying to be like conscious of our brand. Like we do want to be a brand that's, talking about like cultural context and building people up that like have authenticity of voice that helps people kind of guide through these crazy times. And some of our creators, they might be more of an escapism type of creator that allows you to say, shit, my life seems difficult. Now I can look at somebody else and go, whoa, man, I didn't know I thought I was in the weeds. This person's like deeper in the weeds than I could ever imagine. I do have a lot of hope that Bob can get into a space of like grace through this, and he can be a little humbled through this and take it to the next step. I think we have enough brand integrity. I think we have enough cautiousness and humility within ourselves to say, one, we're not trying to change anybody that we're with. We're not trying to associate with people that are negative, but we also are trying to put ourselves in places where we can hopefully provide hope, provide future, and provide, just quality of production and quality of brand within some of those spaces. And that's how we get into all these doors, is through that, by being normal people that show up, and then we work well.
Right. And, I think I get into the comments, like I take the comments a little bit harder than you do in general. I'm like always reading them, but a couple of things that we're seeing, and that like I'm continuously repeating things that like frustrate me of the perception of how we're associated with that, is that like, we're doing it just to be like quote unquote social climbers, or try to like people have said, oh, you're paying Bob for you guys to do your production. Like you're paying him to do all these things. And it's like, that is for me, like really offensive, and takes away from like everything that we've worked really, really hard to build. And like really diminishes who we are as people. Like you have no idea the back end work that we've done to be at this place. And so that hurts. Like that hurts more than anyone else saying stuff. And then at the same time, also like taking this person that you don't know and you're perceiving on the internet, and then putting like our characters and our company's integrity behind it. Because like you said, I think there is like Bob's realism does speak volumes to the greater good.
And, we're so new and fresh into this too. Like our relationship with him started 6 months ago as having him on like a Smart and Wild podcast, maybe 9 months ago.
Like a year, but
was it been a year ago now? And then doing the production of that stuff has been within the last 2 months. So there's certainly elements to this where it's like, one, working with such a big platform and huge creator, that's very intriguing for us, because we're like, whoa, this is going to put us into a different realm in space, even though we are working with Tim, who's been friends with all these guys. And in a weird way, we're in this weird family of people that have known each other for much longer than we've been here. You get into a situation where you're like, one, it is good for business for us to be in those spaces, because these are clientele that can help us build better. And they're people that are super engaged in different spaces that we can learn from.
Yeah.
And then from that, we have to go, okay, like what space are we in right now? How can we inject ourselves to create some level of like positivity or growth from it? So everyone's hitting us like, you're just vultures in this space. You're either trying to make a quick buck that you're never going to make a quick buck from. I can totally understand why someone would think that. And then two, you don't also, or you just don't like even care about like the well-being of this, and you just like the Jerry Springer aspect of it. It's like, I actually hate the Jerry Springer aspect of this. I care about more like the long-term story of hopefully like building from something that's been in a difficult spot to then grow into a spot that like other people can go through. Because I think all of us have gone through difficult relationships in life. So I can empathize with that. And then we've had all the deep, dark thoughts that I think sometimes are exposed more regularly from him than most people be willing to do. But then from that, it's like, how can you like walk it back and then like learn from it? So for us as a brand, we're just in a learning process. You know, every single creator that we work with that's a part of our family now, we all got quirks. I have quirks, Katya has quirks. Like, I'm cool with working with quirks as long as you come from a level of like authenticity too. And we're going to continue to learn from that. It's an interesting case study in a lot of ways to us to see, like, can we add value in spaces that obviously don't necessarily need us, but then I do think that we add a lot of quality to. Yeah, I think we add a lot of quality.
Yeah.
So it's been really interesting, you know, even, and we have this weird perspective too, where we haven't really talked about this, but we like lost one of our creators through a death.
Oh my God, yeah.
Literally 2 months ago. And at the same time that we lost Keon, we immediately started to get like swarmed and our business was growing. And it was really difficult time because I have things happen in life where my wife is pregnant and we're moving into a new house. We're moving down to Orange County where all this thing's happening. We're getting asked to fly all over the country.
I have no personal life.
For BounceBack beer. And we have new clients coming in, and we just like lost one of our really, really, really good friends in a way that we don't even know how to like process. And I haven't even been able to get out some of those episodes, one communicating through a person with family member to understand like when and where, or is it even appropriate to like launch those shows? I think it would be because
I love like a legacy of how powerful Keon was and will continue to be in like a space.
Yeah. Well, I like just love, he's like, he was the truest essence of what we want at Purple Banter, is this beacon of love, hope, and grace that we could help like project that voice into the world when things get dark. And so it's been weird even processing that as our company is growing, where we're like, oh my God, like really somebody who we identified as like a staple of our community that was going to help us off balance some of the chaotic nature of other creators, where like people would still be able to see us like, oh, Purple Banter is also about cultural conversations and about mental health and about how to walk through different like political spheres or, you know, personal growth stuff.
Yeah.
That really got us wonky and like off balance, not only on a business level, but even more on like a personal level. Figure out like, oh, how do you process these types of things? And I personally don't think I even have had like a really good amount of time to figure out that.
Yeah, it was weird because like when you told me, you were like, I have some bad news or some like really dark news, and I didn't think, I never thought it would be that. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, we can't shoot on Tuesday because there's like a something like that. It's still like crazy shock to ever have those words come out.
And so if you've followed us for long enough where you know that was a creator that we've had, and maybe for the first time you're hearing this is that he's passed away, we are trying to figure out what to do that on a personal level, and then also what to do with that with like, we have really great, unbelievable anecdotes that he gave to the world before he passed. And we want to make sure that we do it really right by that and take enough of a pause to then, you know, deliver it in a way that his family's really comfortable with and all of that. So it is a wild time. And that's why we do these, you know, Banter for the Peoples, for you can realize where we are as a company, as people, as you see us moving around in all these different spaces. We even, you know, we just shot a podcast in an undisclosed location for Jack Mallers, who's a Bitcoin kid. I get a text, we're here, it's a Wednesday, and says, hey, can you like fly halfway across the world by tomorrow? Like, can you get here? And those are those weird things that keep on popping us for up. So like, we always have these weird little hanging carrots in front of us. Right now, you meet Purple Banter at a place where we're not even a profitable company yet. We have huge upside in potential growth of different shows that we're working with. and different products like BounceBack beer. But it's still like a gamble and strategy of like, how do you pay rent? How is this next month or week going to look like? When we're dealing with like incredible losses, incredible wins, incredible new opportunities, needing to cut some shows loose that just didn't work within, whether it's the timeline of us or whether it was the perspective of what we were trying to provide the world. It's a constant little company dilemma. It's always constant little moral dilemmas. You're presented with all of it.
Yeah.
All the time. And that's what it's like to be a media company out here in Hollywood. It is nutty.
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. What else do we want to leave them with before the 4th?
Just, you know, I'm always going to leave them with like, comment, subscribe, like. I can't say it enough, but like when you support creators by just like hitting things and liking things, and you like people, it goes, especially when you're building, so much farther than you can ever imagine. So that's always going to be something I preach. And we're good people.
Love it. And you got the tat, you got the olive leaves.
Oh yeah.
On the arm.
Wait, where is it? This
right
way.
There. Yeah. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
If I was there, I'd have probably would have got the logo. I would have probably like lost it. And just
Your first tattoo.
Probably. Yeah. Our website will finally hopefully be cleaned up and stuff over the next week, where you can actually get some of our real merch as a brand. And then we'll just kind of continue to go from here. But yeah. God bless you all. Love you. Over and out. This is Banter for the people, baby.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche.